Okay, let's start. How are you guys doing today? Gloomy, sleepy? Do you know that scientists have found that on gloomy days, people's moods for no reason become gloomy. They feel sad without any reason. Do you know that? I actually have that effect. On a rainy day or a dull day, for no reason I feel kind of scared, like something bad might happen. I always feel that. So, welcome to another class where we are going to learn more fun stuff, fun math. Do you guys remember what we did yesterday? Little bit. What did we learn yesterday? Great. So these three things are the main thing we learned yesterday. A little recap. We learned the slope formula when we had 2 points to find the slope between them. We had to memorize the formula. And then we talked about 4 different types of slope that gives us 4 different types of line. So when we have positive slope, we have an increasing line. When we have a negative slope, we have a decreasing line. When you have a slope 0, it makes a horizontal line. So its format is y equals some number. And when we have undefined slope, it means the slope doesn't even exist. It's a vertical line where the equation of the line is x equals some number. And we did few examples of applying the slope formula to find the slope between 2 given points. Then we did two interesting questions where we end up getting 0 divided by a number or a number divided by 0. So 0 divided by a number, if you forget what that is, you can think of real life. You have $0, divide that $0 into 5 pieces, how much you have? Still $0. So 0 divided by any number is 0. On the other hand, when you have a number divided by 0, it means we have something divided into 0 pieces. Now, it's not possible in our life. When you have something, well, we have it. We cannot make it into 0 pieces. That's why it's not possible. So we said, well, it doesn't exist. It's not possible. And it's not possible, as you can see, undefined. And then we did one interesting question that is the department's favorite. Instead of giving us 2 points, they give us equation and 2 x values. So in order to find the 2 points, we needed to substitute the 2 x values into the equation to get their y values. So when you have x and y 2 points, we can use the slope formula to find the slope. And then last thing we did was standard form when equation is given, they're asking you to find the slope and intercepts. So anytime any format is given to see the slope, all you need to do is convert that into this format, slope-intercept. We like this format because in this format you can see the slope, which is a number in front of x, and you can see the y-intercept, which is a constant. So that's why anytime they give an equation and ask you to find slope and intercept, convert them into y equals mx plus b. So we get the slope and y-intercept, but we don't get the x-intercept. Since we did not get the x-intercept from the conversion, so we use the previous method. To get the x, we erase the entire y term and it's all for x. And then to graph, we substitute, we plot x-intercept on the x-axis, the y-intercept on the y-axis, and then connect to the straight line. Now, a little do now. Do this question by yourself. Find the slope, x-intercept, and y-intercept. Oh, why do I have 12? Today is 131. So I'm still living in December instead of January. No fun. Hi, it's so good to see you. We're finding flow, exit as a mind. Together. Oh, no, 10 is not okay, actually. No? 10 is not okay. Yeah. So, to find the slope, we have to do what? Convert it into y equals mx plus b. In other words, get the y alone. Do whatever you need to do to get it alone. So, which one you get rid of first? The -6 or the 2x? Remember, whatever is the farthest, we always get that rid of first. Go ahead. How can you get rid of 2x? Subtract. So subtract 2x from both sides. We have -2x plus 10 on the right side. And what is left on the left side? -6y. And now what? How can you get the y alone? Divide by -6. And doing it individually is helpful because we want to see every number. So we have y equals, what happens to the double negative? Cancel out. And what happens to 2 and 6? Is it 3 or 1/3? Which one? Why 1/3? Exactly, 6 is bigger. When the denominator is bigger, we have to have a fraction. So we're dividing 2 by 2, 6 by 2. 2 by 2 gives us 1, 6 by 2 gives us 3. So it has to be a fraction 1/3, not the whole number 3. So we have 1/3 x, and I missed my negative here. So what happens to the positive and negative? Negative. And can we reduce 10 and 6? They both are even numbers, so divisible by 2. So we divide both of them by 2. So it becomes 5/3. Right? 5 and 3. Yeah. And now we are happy because this is same as this format. So that tells us what is our slope? 1/3. And what is this number? Y-intercept. -5/3. So they're asking for 3 things. We already found 2 things. We are happy. But we still need to find our x-intercept. Since we cannot find x-intercept in this method, so we have to use the old-fashioned method. To find the x-intercept, what do we do? Set y0. And we solve for x. So we have 2x minus 6y is 10. Setting y0 makes the second term what? The entire thing get vanished. So what is left on the left side? 2x. And the right we had 10. Now to get the x alone, what do you do? Divide by 2. So how much is x? 5. And now we are happy. We have x-intercept, y-intercept, and slope. So we have 5 here, x. Y-intercept is -5/3. We have no idea what is -5/3. But can you make an estimate? It's about how much? 3 goes to 5 how many times? Only once, right? So it's definitely -1 point something. What thing? We have no idea. It's definitely -1 and a little bit more after 1. So if this is -1 and this is -2, where do you think our y-intercept be? Above -1 or between -1 and 2? Between. So somewhere, I don't know where, somewhere. And then we connect them with a straight line. So in the exam, even if you don't have a whole number, don't get panic. All you have to do is remember denominator goes to numerator how many times. That's all you need. Based on that, just approximate your point. Any question?
When you find the slope, as well as like the denominator.
Cancel. Every time you have to simplify. Who did not sign in? Happen to you don't have to go to testing. Thank you. Any other question? No? So we know how to graph using 2 points, and we know how to find by plotting points on this method. Now we are going to learn our last method of graphing lines using only the y-intercept and slope. So see, this format is standard form, and we have x and y intercepts. So when you have standard form, using x and y intercept to graph is easier. However, not always we're going to have standard form. Thank you. Now, did everybody sign in? Everybody signed in? Okay. So, look at this format. What is this format? The name of the format is slope-intercept format. Slope-intercept. So, when you slope-intercept, you don't have to find the x-intercept to plug in the x-axis. You already have your y-intercept. We are going to use that y-intercept and this slope to draw a line. All you have to remember is one rule. If your slope has a positive number on the top, from y-intercept, you have to go up. Positive means you are going up. But if you have a negative number, sorry, my bad. But if you have a negative number on the top, then you have to go down. So in the slope, if you have a positive number, you have to walk always up. If you have a negative number, you have to walk down. Positive means up, negative means down. And the slope, if the slope has a positive number on the denominator, then you have to walk to your right from a point. Can you guess which direction you have to walk if your denominator is a negative number? Left. That's why slope has another name. We call rise over run. Rise means we are going up. Run means we are running either to the left or to the right. Okay. So using this rule, rise over run, we can draw a line by starting from y-intercept. So we have our y-intercept. We have our y-intercept -2. Sorry, my bad. Y equals -2. So you're going up and then left. So x, y. We know we have to plot y-intercept because you already did, right? Previously. So we're going to plot y-intercept in the y-axis. -1, -2. So somewhere here. Our first point. -2. And from -2, what is our slope here? In this equation, what is our slope? -3. -3 is only one number, but we need a fraction. Our 1. Everything has invisible 1 below that. So this is the rule. Let me highlight. We are using this rule to draw our line in a different way. Starting point, y-intercept. From here, we are going to walk the slope, -2 on the top, 1 on the bottom. But what does -3 means? Which direction we have to go? Down. So from this -2, we have to go down 3 units. So down 1, down 2, down 3 here. And then we have +1 on the bottom. So which direction we are going? Right. So from the 1, it just like 1 down, 2 down, 3 down, and then 1 right. 1 right here, and stop. This is our second point. We have our 2 points. You're happy. We can connect them with a straight line. So 1 down, 2 down, 3 down, and then 1 right. But let's say I want to plot more points. But I cannot go 3 more down and 1 more right because I don't have space. Then how can we get more points? Any idea? Good. Mirror your walk. From starting point, you went down 3. If you mirror your down 3, which direction you have to go now? Up 3. So even though I don't have any space on the lower side, but see how smart we are? We can start walking upward. So 1 up, 2 up, 3 up, we end up getting here. And then previously we went to the right. Now we have to go which direction? To the left, because we are going completely opposite direction. And now I'm happy. I have 3 points. 1, 2, 3. The more points I have, the more accurately I can draw the line. But I'm happy. If I want, I can do more. 1, 2, 3, and then 1 left. So I have 4 points. You can do more. I have more space on the top. So if you have more space, you can do more. If you have less space, 2 or 3 points is fine. Now let's see, can I let my, this time it will work. Cool, cool. So let's see. Well, as you already know, I'm a bad drawer artist. So my line don't match on a straight line, but assume it's on a straight line. So that means, let me erase this. It was way off. Okay, this is a straight line. So if you have an equation in the slope-intercept format, then using this method is easier because you don't have to calculate anything. You start from your y-intercept and walk your slope. If you don't have much space, you can walk in the reverse direction. Clear? Now you try one. Actually, let me make it interesting. Well, it's +3. Never mind. It's okay. Yeah, no problem. Draw the line. Meaning slope and y-intercept. Thank you. Who else didn't sign in? Oh, Everything has what you know. There's that what everything has got that. So that's the next. But now we have no, this is here. We have important and from the law. One year, one so one year to action. How do we everything else right now we take that. We want Intercept always starts with one intercept. Why do we intercept? Or what is the negative one at the top is with the and then no, you want only one step. So from negative 3, we are working only one step down, and then one in the bottom is step 2. The second one, then it's on. So from the starting point, we are going to section. The top is direction. So down one and then right. So from here it is down one and then right one to the right. And then if you want to go up more, from here it is down one and then right one. Yeah. So this is starting point. Step, one step. For each step, how much you're walking. Well, let's do it together. So what is our slope here? Slope is the number in front of x. It's -1 because we have nothing here. When you have nothing, we have invisible 1. So our slope is -1, but we don't want a whole number. We want a fraction. So we can make this as a fraction by putting 1 on the denominator. And now we are happy. -1 means which direction you have to go from the y-intercept? Down. So down 1, and then from this down 1, which direction? Right 1. So our starting point is the y-intercept. What is our y-intercept? 3. So we start 1, 2, 3. We start our journey at the y-intercept at 3. From these 3, we go 1 down. We end up getting 2, but then we have to walk 1 unit to the right. So here. If you want more point, it looks a little bit up. Let me put it a little bit down. If you want more points, you can walk one more down and one more right. So start down, right, down, right. You can do more, down, right. You can do as many points as you want. And if you want to reverse the direction from the starting point, which direction you have to go? Up one and then left one. So up one here, left one here. Then if you want more, up one, left one here. So you keep walking both direction, wherever you want, and then connect everything with a straight line. Oh, this time is much straighter than the other one. So, any question? Comments? Now the opposite direction. What if the line is given, give them the equation? Follow the same thing, but go reverse direction. So there we started at the y-intercept and then we worked our slope. What can you do here? You still started y-intercept. So where is the y-intercept? At 2. But you have to write an equation, right? And they want us to write in both format. So which format is easier to start with? The slope-intercept or the standard form? Slope-intercept, because we can see our intercept already. So we can substitute our intercept directly in the slope-intercept. So the slope-intercept says the format is y equals mx plus b. We are going to keep our y and x because these are variables and substitute m and b with numbers. And then we find our equation. That's it. So y equals something x plus, what's the b we have? 2. So you already found one variable, b. We are happy. Now the slope. How can you find the slope? By walking. So we always start from the y-intercept. From this y-intercept, go to a neighboring point that has a whole number x, whole number y. For example, here, this point doesn't have whole number x, but it's a fraction here, right? So it's not a good point. You cannot stop here. Then we keep walking, and here we still don't have a whole number because this is a fraction. It's between two whole numbers. So you cannot stop here. Then we keep walking, and then look at here. This is a corner of the box. This corner has a whole number here and a whole number there, right? So we start our journey from here. We keep walking and we stop there. How can you recognize the walk? If you don't walk on a straight line, which direction you go? From here to here. Up, down, left, right, which direction? From here to here. Down 1. Down 1 means what? -1. And from down 1, where did you walk? 3 to the right. And right means what? Positive. So 3 positive on the bottom. And we are done. We have our formula. We started our journey at y-intercept. We walked the slope to get to the neighboring whole number points. We went 1 down, 3 up, 3 right. So we have 1 minus 3 plus.
Would positive one.
When a fraction has a sign, a negative sign, it either on the top or on the bottom. It doesn't matter. So this is slope-intercept format. We are done. So if you write so if you go right 3, it's plus 3, right? So plus 3, which where? On the top or on the bottom? Remember, left right is always bottom. Up down is always top. So if you walk 3 right, you still have 3 on the bottom, which is positive. And then you walk 1 down, even if you're doing it later, but up down is always goes on the top, and down means minus. So 3 plus on the bottom, 1 minus on the top. Still 1/3 with a negative. No problem. So let's say from here you're going there because this is a corner, right? So you go up 1. Up 1 means what? Plus 1 on the top or on the bottom? On the top. So plus 1 on the top, and then which direction? Left means what? Negative. So you have plus 1 over minus 3, which is same as negative 1 over 3. And this is also same as negative 1 over 3. So when your fraction is a negative, it means either the top is the negative or the bottom is the negative. So here the top and bottom is a negative, but I have the top, but they represent the same thing. It's like your name, your last name and first name. It doesn't matter whether you write first name, last name, or last name and then first name. It's still your name, right? The same you. So same thing, the negative, it doesn't matter whether you put it on the bottom or on the top, it doesn't matter. Still one negative for the fraction. So we are done with slope-intercept form. Now we want to rewrite this into standard form. What is standard? AX plus BY equals C. Great. In other words, put X and Y together one side and constant to the other side. Do you have X and Y together here? No. But we have to, right? Because of this format. So how can you put X and Y together? What do you have to do? We want X next to the Y. But it's already subtracted. It only has a negative sign, right? Last thing. See, it's X is already minus. So its opposite action will be plus. So we add that. We add 1/3 of X, both sides. So we get 1/3 X plus the Y. And what remains on the other side? Only 2. And we should be happy. We have the same formats, X and Y next to one another. They're friended with one another, and our constant is alone. But for some reason, you're not happy. Why are you not happy? What you don't like in here? There's something you don't like. What do you don't like? Fraction. See, we all hate fraction. How can we get rid of that fraction so that we can like everything? We can multiply 1/3 by 3 to get rid of the fraction and make it as a whole number. Why I can do that? Okay, now it works. But math says, hey, if you buy something for one kid, you must buy the same thing for the other kids. So if you want to multiply this by 3, you have to multiply this by 3 and this by 3. Otherwise, your life wouldn't be fair. But we want to be fair. So you multiply this by 3 and this by 3. And now we are happy. We have no more fraction for the x. So what does x have? Only 1, which is invisible. And then we have 3y equals 6. And now we are very happy because we fulfilled everything. We have standard form with no negative for the x, no fraction anywhere. Okay? So I love this question. You're going to see this in the exam. And you know when is your exam? On Valentine's Day. Okay? So my gift to you for loving math on Valentine's Day is the exam. And I'm already telling you what will be in the exam. That the previous questions I told you before, that will be the final exam. All those questions you see in the exam, plus this one. No, there are more.
No, I mean, we're gave us 5 questions.
Already, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. One of these, and then we have a few more from before, and today one more here. Yeah, give it.
But every question you say is something that's what our quiz is going to be based on, right?
Not quiz, the exam.
More like what it's going to be.
So I already gave you a few questions in the final exam. You'll see them again in the in-class exam.
Yes, like, you see how homework is something else? Like, we were saying that, like, the first things we learned about is when we do homework. Like, that we open an exam. I mean, the
quizzes probably. I didn't see the quizzes. So if you want to do the homework, after you do the homework, look at the quiz. So quiz has 2 attempts. What I suggest you to do is for the first attempt, get all the questions. Okay, write down all the questions and then try your best to see how much you get. If you don't get 100%, no problem, because you already have all the questions written down in front of you. You have to redo them again for your second attempt, but the numbers will be different. But if you at least know how to do them correctly, in the second attempt, you'll get 100%. Okay, so for the first attempt, write down all those questions because you're going to see the same quiz again in the second attempt.
for our exam, what's on your lead sheet?
I'll do it within a few days. And we just done in 3.4. So your homework on Monday midnight will be 3.234, and there is one quiz based on 3.2 and 3.3, something like that. Quiz 1 or quiz 2, I don't remember which one. But one quiz, 3 homework due Monday midnight. So do it before that. Now 3.5. 3.5 is a little bit longer than other 3 sections we did because we have to cover 5 things here. And 4 of them, I think, will be in the final exam, definitely. Okay. So what are the 5 scenarios? 2 points will be given. You have to know how to find the equation of the line. So previously, when 2 points are given, we only found the slope of the line. And now you have to do more work. Find the slope plus the equation of the line. Then the second scenario, if the slope and 1 point is given, find the equation of the line. Then 1 point is given, find the horizontal line that goes through the point and the vertical line that goes through the point, which is easy. The next is find the slope of the parallel and perpendicular line. And lastly, find the equation of the parallel and perpendicular line. So 4 out of 5 topics you're definitely going to see in the final exam. So more final exam questions. Start with example 1. Write the equation of the line that goes through these 2 points. So it's not hard. It's only 3 steps. Even though I done 4, but actually it's 3 steps. Step 1, find the slope. In order to find any equation of the line, we definitely need to know the slope. So that's why we have to use the slope formula to find the slope. Once you know the slope, we are going to substitute the slope and one of the points. Which one? It's up to you. One of the points into the point slope format. Why? Because in the point slope format, we have the slope and 1 point to substitute. So you substitute that. So once you do that, we are done. We have our equation of the line. And the rest is up to the multiple choice. What do you observe in the multiple choice? What's the format of the equation? Standard form. That means even though we got the equation of the line, but we are not quite done because they're actually telling us to write it in standard form. So we have to bring x and y together in one side, constant to the other side, and none of the x can be negative and no fraction. Okay, so only 3 steps, but depending on the multiple choice, we modify our last step. So let's do it together. Step 1. What do we need first? Slope. That means we need to know the slope formula. Who doesn't remember the slope formula? That means everybody does remember the slope formula? Do you see the 2 points? Is it clear to you? Okay, then tell me what minus what. Do you want me to pick a volunteer? Nick. Give me the slope, please. What minus what? 2 minus negative 3. Negative 7 minus 8. Perfect. What happens to the double negative? Positive. So what do you actually have on the top? 5. So it's 2 plus 3. That gives us 5. And what do you have on the bottom? You have negative 7. And you are going more negative. Negative 15. Can we reduce this? By what number? By 5. So both of these are divisible by 5. So what is actually our slope? 1 over negative 3 or negative 1/3. So we are done with slope. Once we have the slope, what do we do next? We write the equation of the line. Y minus y1 slope x minus x1. And if you observe the choices, all the choices has x and y only variables. The rest are numbers. That means we are not going to substitute x and y. Besides these two, everything else will be numbers. So what is our y1? Negative 3. How much is the slope we found? Negative 1/3. And how much is our x1? X1 is what? 8. I thought you said 3. I was like, why did you say 3? Okay, double negative again. Turns into positive. So we have y plus 3. What can we do on the right side? What do you think we can do? Distribute. So we have negative 1/3 times x, negative 1/3 times x, and then we have negative 1/3 times negative 8, right? Negative 1/3 times x, negative 1/3 times negative 8. Any confusion so far? This is called point slope format. So a line has three formats: standard, slope intercept, and point slope. And remember I said in the first day, the point slope is the most important to write any equation. If anytime they ask you to write an equation of a line with some given information, we start with that format. Except for if they give you only 1 point and nothing else, then it's a different story. So we are happy here, no problem. We are happy here, no problem. The problem is here. We are multiplying a fraction with a whole number. When you multiply a fraction with a whole number, how do you multiply? Do you multiply both top and bottom, or do you multiply only top? Any idea? Only top. Do you know why only top? There is a reason. Because 8 has a down 1. See? Even though it has nothing, but it still has a 1. So when you multiply, we make a sandwich. We combine the top and we combine the bottom. That's why when you multiply a whole number with a fraction, we actually only multiply the top. We are doing it invisible multiplication on the bottom. So this is our top and this is our bottom. So it's sandwich. It's actually called sandwich multiplication. Multiply top, top, bottom, bottom. So y plus 3 negative 1/3 x. And what do we have on the top? Negative 1 times negative 8. Negative 1 times negative 8. Positive 8. And what do you have at the bottom? 3 times 1, 3. And now we are happy. At least we don't have anything to multiply anymore. So that's why we're kind of happy. But still we are unhappy. What do you hate here the most? Fraction. So before even going any further, how can we get rid of that fraction? Math is fair, right? So whatever you do one side, you have to do the same with the other side. So our problem is the denominator. How can you get rid of the denominator? If you please only dividing. If you divide more, you get more division. Multiply. So in our, actually, let me do it on the other page. Let me keep this. We have y plus 3 equals negative 1/3 x plus 8/3. We hate these three. We hate these three. In order to get rid of them, we multiply here by 3, here by 3. So ta, 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 ta. They both die. They fight and they die. Let's see what math says. Whatever you bring for one child, you have to bring the same thing for everyone else. Now we have to multiply the whole thing on the other side by 3. So multiply by 3. Multiply by 3. And now we are being fair. I mean, we did it fairly. So you cancel the denominator 3 on the right side, and we have no more denominator. So what do we have? On the left side, what do we have? 3y plus how much left? Really? 3 times 3? 9. Common mistake. And how about the right side? What do you see? Negative 1x, but 1 is invisible, you don't have to write it. And what else the number is? We cancel the 3, right? So what number you see I did not cancel? 8. Plus or minus? Plus. And now we are happy, kind of. More happy than before, not fully happy. Because we still did not reach to that format. The format says x and y together, no minus for x, and whole number is alone. So how can we achieve that level from this level? What do you do? Do you have x and y next to one another? That means we have to put them together. What can you do? We add x. So we cancel that. Do we need the 9 here? Do you want the 9 here on the left side? No. So how can we get rid of that 9? Minus. So minus 9. And now you're happy. Our left side doesn't have any number. Our right side doesn't have any x. So what do we have? 3y plus x, or simply x plus 3y, because we want x first. And what do you have on the other side? Positive or negative? Negative. Question? Where? Okay, our left side has to have only x and y together, right? But do you have a 9 here? We don't want that 9. So how can you get rid of that 9? We do the opposite operation. So 9 is a plus sign, we do the minus sign. So we minus 9 to both sides. So no more 9, cancel out. So we have our x and y next to one another without anything else. And on the other side, we have plus 8 minus 9, which gives us minus 1.
When you say when you say how we got to negative 1/3, the negative only qualifies for the top number.
Yeah. Why do you have a negative to use only once? Any other question? So this is our answer, right? So look at the multiple choices. They actually give you the choices. Oh, okay. So by looking at the multiple choice, we can already see that we have to have x and y next to one another. And all the x you see, they're positive, and we don't have any fraction. So first problem we found here is a fraction. So we got rid of the fraction because it doesn't have any fraction. Second problem we found here was x and y are not next to one another. So we solved this by moving x and y together and number to the other side. So we had two problems, we fixed them both. Now this is our answer. Which of the multiple choices is the correct one? The last one. So in the exam, you're going to do your work fully, completely, correctly. And once you get your solution, you have to box your answer. Pick the correct multiple choice.
What's the two? What's the two?
Why is what?
What's the two?
It's in our very fastest lecture. So we started with the three formats of line. And this is the third format, point slope format. You see what's the name? It's called point slope format. If you remember, the first they actually said each format has their own usefulness. This format is useful to find the equation of any line. Slope-intercept is useful to find the slope and y-intercept. And standard format is useful to find the x-intercept and y-intercept. So each format has its own benefit. Any other question? You have to memorize everything. So far you have to memorize the slope formula and then the three format of the line. These 4 things you have to memorize. No fun. Okay, I have one extra page. Let me get that read off. And here is one example for you. Find the equation of the line that goes to these 2 points. Did everybody sign in the sign-in sheet? And you came late. No, I have the indication. 3 to 4 minutes. You also need a sign-in? Can you pass it to the 4 people came late. No, move it back. Pass it back. Oh, I forgot to tell you. This is the final exam question. 2 points are given. Either find the slope of the line or find the equation of the line. At least one of these two you're going to see in the final exam. Now do you ready to sign in? Everybody did? 26, not bad. Let me count and see if anything happened like yesterday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14. No, perfect. So, so we go to so we have two problems. One is the first one is and simplify the first one. What is it to the negative? And that is 2 over 1. Six of one number 2. Question? Good. Go ahead. You're doing great. We have $0 and you're giving me $4 for the how much you have now. Now you have $0, but you're giving me $4. Really going debt. But don't give anyone any money because of goodbye. Perfect. Another single. So why do we start with? I can do that, but can you simplify your And then I will be and then the multiple part as the multiple cells act with positive charge. And how can you keep it as positive but bring y next to that? Oh, how much do you have? Oh, fine. Thank you. I don't want to do it. You always want to always. You have to do it. From your what is it? What did you do? What do you want to look at? Remember, you're going to bring action one together, but in X and two bring action one together, but X one. How do you think that you also want? Here is negative to have
Here.
one thing gets your grade. Why do you get rid of two? He's a whole number. Why do you get rid of two? We get the whole fraction, including number of values. But now you're almost high. The problem is we want this something to come this way. Okay, so we're dividing by 1, 2. 2 values. Only minus values.
Always sleep.
Why plus 1? We have to go on. Realize my family. You buy something for 1 of them, otherwise, by now, we will take they're bumping around. She said she didn't. Right? This. Yeah, something. I don't suppose in that. You choose it there, right? So how do you choose here? You can just put it here, right? You have to bring it bigger, that image. So how can you make it bigger? So let me show you this in two ways. So step 1 is what? Y2 minus Y1 over X2 minus X1. So we first find what's the slope. So what minus what? 0 minus 4 over negative 2 minus 0. So what do we have? Negative 4 over negative 2. What happens to the double negative? Become positive. And what is 4 divided by 2? At 2. So you're happy. So that means you have a line that is increasing. And now what do we do with that slope? What is our next step? We found the slope. Now what can we get? The equation, right? So y minus y1 slope x minus x1. Only x and y we cannot substitute because our equation must have them. So we keep our y and we substitute y1. What is our y1? 4. What is the slope we found? 2 x minus 0. Now, many of you distributed. No problem in distribution, but remember, in parentheses, can you simplify that further? You have X dollar, you given $0 to someone. How much you have? You have $2, and you give me $0. How much you still have? 2. So if X dollar, you're giving $0. How much we have? X, because we give nothing, right? Giving 0 means doing nothing. In other words, this is actually a simple X. So y minus 4, 2x. By says bring x and y next to one another, and also x cannot be negative. If x cannot be negative and we want x and y next to one another, what can we do? We want the y, right? Next to the x. So how y is connected with this negative 4? You have plus y, right? So what's the opposite of plus y? What's the opposite of plus? Minus. So minus y both sides to make our life easier. So negative 4 equals 2x minus y. But all this time we saw x and y on the left, number to the right, right? So just switch them around. The same thing, just to look nicer. 2x minus y is negative 4. Both of them are correct, but this looks more familiar. Go ahead. Negative 2x plus y. Your answer is correct, but multiple choice doesn't have negative x. So what can you do with your negative 2x plus y? Divide by a negative or multiply by a negative. Both sides.
But I thought the M was positive.
M is positive. So we have y minus 4, 2x, right? So if you want to do the normal way, is subtract 2x. No problem. So we have negative 2x plus y minus 4 equals 0. So the only problem is the negative 4. So we add the 4 to both sides, right? So we have negative 2x plus y is 4. But you're not going to see this in the multiple choice, because multiple choice wants you to start your x with positive number. So we want this negative 2 turns into a positive 2. You have to multiply or divide the entire thing with a negative. Not 2, because 2 is not bugging you. The problem is with the negative sign. So we want to multiply or divide by a negative. So negative, negative, positive 2x. We are happy. Negative, positive is negative y. We don't care. Negative 4, we don't care. For the rest, we don't care. The main thing is we want that to be positive. This could be anything, positive or negative, we don't care. But the first one, we want to start our x with positive. And you're doing all of these only because of the multiple choice. Half will be multiple choice, half will be non-multiple choice. So for multiple choice, there will be no partial credit. You have to do everything correctly and then mark the correct choice. So no partial credit. But for the non-multiple choice, based on how much correctness you have in the solution, you get 2 points.
So you only multiply it by the negative one just so it doesn't negative.
Exactly. Two, we didn't care about two. We can have anything here, unless it's a fraction. The problem is a negative. So whatever gives you the problem, only get rid of that thing. For example, in the previous question, we had problem with the denominator. So we multiplied everything by the denominator. That was our problem. And then we didn't face any problem anymore. See? Okay, so that's all for today. In our next class, we are going to do our second scenario, where a slope will be given, a point will be given. So since the slope is given, our life is easy. We are going to keep step 1 because slope is already given, and you go to step 2 directly. We plug everything here, and then we simplify. That's it. So next class, we have more fun with more interesting questions. So have a good weekend, have a good day. And don't forget to do your homework and quizzes. Y minus 4 equals 2. So here, we have x minus 0, so you can take x, right? So we have y minus 4 equals 2. Y minus 4 on the left side, and 2 times x on the right side. And then we got 3y after the x, so that we have so this is our